I'm going to hand the mic over to Zach. He's the best man.
Testing. Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Zach Scroggins. Jacob and I went to Southwestern University together and shared 4 years that I consider to be some of the most memorable and fun in my life. However, it didn't really start out that way. I came to know Jacob pretty quickly in that first month at football camp at Southwestern, which was an extremely difficult period in my life. Everything was new and different, and for the first time in my young life, truly difficult. All of us guys were isolated from our families, from our homes, and all of our old friends. All we had in those days was the common bond of consistent exhaustion and a wonder or terror of what the next day may bring. Every day was an unknown. I didn't room with Jacob in our first year. Actually, I was lucky enough to share a 200 square foot room with that guy right there. Harvey Mulvale. I believe I truly met Jacob at one of the first team dinners while standing in line at the Commons, the famous build your own burrito station. I think you probably remember that. I lined up behind him and the topic of conversation shifted to the El Campo Ricebirds. I knew that El Campo had been to the state championship. I had actually watched that game myself. You know where I'm going with this. So I was actually in awe to be able to talk to a player that played in that game, the game. I remember Jacob saying, yeah, I actually got to play in the state game, which I quickly followed up with, yeah, well, I watched the state game. He couldn't get enough of that comeback. I still hear him mock that exchange. I think it was in that moment our friendship truly began. This wasn't actually the first time I met Jacob, however. I shared a field with the El Campo Ricebirds on September the 9th of 2011. For my school, Clear Falls, which was a startup and brand new football program, which I've done 2 of now. I think I'm done. Playing the Ricebirds felt like a championship game. Everyone knew of Bob Gillis and the consistent winning records at El Campo. I think he's here tonight. The week leading up to the game was full of nervous, excited energy from myself and my teammates. The big day finally rolled around, and I'm proud to say we held our own. We did. We lost, but we held our own. 21-14 in favor of El Campo. My team was excited on the way home, thrilled to be able to play toe-to-toe with the El Campo Ricebirds. It was a big accomplishment. My dad even went out and purchased a stack of newspapers from the El Campo Leader, literally to show and tell about our loss at Clear Falls. So losing El Campo was a big deal. It was a huge deal. Jacob, however, would frequently comment that it was an off year for us. All the football players lived in a freshman dorm called Reuter Hall. It was the oldest dorm and second oldest building of any kind on campus. It was pretty much on its last leg before they decided to reinstate football. The rooms were tiny, the walls were paper thin, and the carpet was multicolored, but it wasn't on purpose. It was a men's only dorm for no other reason than that women have more self-respect than we do. So Reuter was an interesting place to spend your freshman year of college, to say the least. It was fairly early into our first semester, and I had walked down the hall to see Jacob. I don't know what I went down there for, maybe to play a little bit of NCAA 14, or just to see what trouble we could stir up, I can't remember. So I tried the door, and it was locked, so I knocked. He said, come in. I said, it's locked. He said, I didn't lock it. I said, well, I don't want to break the damn thing, so maybe come give it a look. You remember this? So I heard him walk over to the door and try it with no luck. He said, are you messing with me? I said, no, just open the door. He said, I can't. So as his panic set in, I said, I'll call the campus police. They'll probably come get you out. So he agreed, and we waited. And as I leaned against the door for a while, I had a thought pop into my head. Just some advice. Hey, dude, make sure you don't drink or eat anything, because if you choke, no one's coming to help you. He didn't like that very much. He said, why would you say that, dude? What the hell is wrong with you? I still get a pretty good laugh out of that one. I don't know that you did in that day, though. He didn't like that very much. For whatever reason, my freshman year, I decided to befriend a guy without a car, Harvey, and a guy that absolutely hated driving in the city, Jacob. He couldn't stand it. So when we did finally get some time to leave campus, whether it was to go to the gas station or the grocery store or the fast food place of the day, I pretty much played taxi driver. Jacob and Harvey both sent me on some fascinating trips. After every holiday break, I would usually find myself at a very odd bus station at a very odd hour, picking up Harvey in downtown Austin somewhere. And every once in a while making a stop in Columbus on my way back from Houston, I would scoop Jacob up, pick him up, and take him back to school. One of our favorite things to do was to stop at a gas station in Ellinger called Pruchka's. We, being diet conscious and keeping health in mind, would order the largest double meat, double cheese, double bacon burger that they had on the menu. If you haven't tried it, you have to. It's one of the best burgers in the state. It was so good, in fact, that when I'd be on my way back to school from Houston without him, he would call to remind me to pick him up a burger so I could have it sitting there waiting for him by the time I was at school. My sophomore year, Harvey, Jacob, and I lived in a duplex with another one of our buddies, RJ, who's also here today. While Laith and Jeremy, who are also here today, lived in the apartment directly beneath us. It was in this year, living under this same roof, that we really saw Jacob's personality unfold. He would do wacky little bits and goofy tiny impressions. One of our favorites was the Mr. Steal Your Girl impression, where he would take our very elastic athletic shorts and he would hike them up over his shoulders and prance around the apartment, sometimes outside, like a little goblin. He would do this so often that we were able to get pictures. So if anybody wants to see those, Harvey and I can happily share. Our junior year, we were finally able to room together one-on-one. I was notorious for being completely untidy and messy, while Jacob kept things extremely organized. Organized, but not clean. It was a men's dorm, so it was never clean. Jacob was even organized when it came to his food, to a degree that some may call particular. He would keep a Tupperware of snacks under the bed, neatly put away, which Harvey was very much aware of. I remember Jacob and I went to an away game one weekend, and Harvey had stayed back at the dorms, and 5 minutes after we had returned home, I hear Jacob steaming mad coming out of the room, "Where are my pretzels?" Harvey had actually taken care of those for him that weekend. I think even 8 years later, I think it's been, I still hear about that bag of pretzels almost every time we get together. As everyone knows, Jacob is a devout Catholic. Every Friday during Lent, I would wake up to a text message from Jacob saying, "No meat zone," or "Don't eat meat." It's true. On Ash Wednesday, Jacob would make a point to go get our ashes done at the local Catholic church. One particular Ash Wednesday, we went to St. Helen Catholic Church, which is right next door to campus. We showed up right on time and just decided to stand in the back. It was a packed house. One of the older ladies tapped us on the shoulder and said, "Y'all are going to be doing the collection." So Jacob and I both turned to each other and go, "How the hell are the two most broke dudes that decided to stand in the back get picked to do the collection?" So we did it. So as we collected the money, the dollars kept piling up, and we couldn't believe how much money we were holding. We kept looking at each other going, "Oh my God." So it's probably more money than we both had ever held in our lives, and the entire church didn't know either of us from Adam. To this day, we still don't know why they picked us, but we did end up being good Catholics, and we confessed our petty theft the very next week. I kid, they got their money. One of the all-time most cherished memories that I have with Jacob and a lot of the guys here is winning the SCAC Conference Championship. The final play against the Clinch the SCAC trophy is a memory I'll never forget. Jacob and I losing our minds on the field, throwing on the oversized white SCAC t-shirts, each of us hoisting the trophy and the sign like we were little kids. Taking pictures, sharing hugs, high fives, and knowing that a championship ring was in our future. All of that hard work those 4 years had finally paid off. I could not have shared that experience with a better group of guys. When it came to football, Jacob was my right-hand man. For every single home game we played, we both sat in the exact same spot in the locker room every game. For every away game, we were next to each other on the bus or on the plane, if it was possible. At practice, it was Jacob and me from the first day of fall camp until we stepped off that field for the very last time. I want to talk about Robyn a little bit. As most of you know, Jacob has had some pretty serious health problems in the past couple of years. Jacob and Robyn started dating shortly before those issues arose, and she was by his side every step of the way. It's rare to so quickly test the in sickness and in health thing, but Robyn, what you did truly amazed me. Having someone that you can wholeheartedly count on to be there, even in your lowest moments, is the most important quality a life partner can have. Your true love and dedication to my friend was beyond admirable. It's stunning. For how Jacob talks about you, I never had a single doubt that you were the one for him. But you went above and beyond with your commitment. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Jacob, I love you, brother. You found a great one. Thanks for all the good years and many more to come. To Jacob and Robyn, cheers.
Sister.
All right, we're not done yet. Be a little quiet, please.
So growing up with Robyn brings up so many memories, like going to sit in the deer stands and fishing with Dad and shopping with Mom. I mean, we shared a room together. We were together all the time, whether we wanted to be or not. Whatever I had, you weren't too far behind to get to, like our CD changing stereos and pajamas that Mom bought us. But being sisters has always been like having an automatic best friend. So being sisters has always been like having an automatic best friend. Our personalities are so different, but we've always gotten along so well and have been there for each other through everything. I've watched you graduate from school and grow into an awesome teacher that your kids love, and now become a loving wife to Jacob. When you first told me about Jacob, I was like, okay, we'll see how long this is going to last. But after the first couple of months and how much you two went through with Jacob's hospital stays, I hadn't seen Robyn care about someone so much like that. It was then I knew Jacob was the one, and I needed to start to get to know him. So the more I've gotten to know Jacob, I see what Robyn sees, and that you two are perfect for each other. So Jacob, welcome to the family. I'm so glad to call you my brother-in-law, and I wish you two all the happiness that marriage brings. So here's to Robyn and Jacob.
Hi everyone. For those that don't know me, my name is Paige. Robyn and I met our very first day in our very first class at Texas A&M. After talking to her a couple of times, I knew that Robyn and I were going to be good friends. Over the years, we have laughed together, cried together, and have made so many memories. She has truly been my shoulder to cry on and the person I go to always. Robyn has a heart of gold and the sweetest soul. I would do anything for her, and she is one of the most important people in my life. No matter the ups and downs and how crazy life gets, Robyn is there. I am truly blessed to have someone like her in my life. I am so proud of the person that she has become and the life that she has chosen for herself, especially the man that she has chosen to spend forever with. Jacob, all I want to say to you is, you're welcome. If you didn't know, I'm the reason these two are together. And I'm never going to let them forget it. But that's a story for another time. On a more serious note, from the very beginning, these two have been a perfect match. I always knew that it was going to take someone special to be able to handle Robyn. Jacob, you calm Robyn down and keep her feet on the ground. Jacob worships the ground she walks on and would do just about anything to put a smile on Robyn's face. As her best friend, that's all I could really ever ask for. I know that without a doubt that Jacob will take the absolute best care of Robyn and that she will be an incredible wife to him. I'm so excited to see what God has in store for your future as husband and wife. With a love as strong and pure as y'all's, I know that you two can overcome any obstacle that God sets in your path. I love y'all both so very much, and Jacob, she's your problem now. To the bride and groom, cheers.
All right, I think the wedding party and whoever else can help are going to start clearing out the center so we can be ready for the grand march after a while.